I'm well. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good, thank you. I'm just gonna wait and see. I had a few people tell me they wouldn't make it live and they're gonna catch the recording,
Okay.
but I believe there should be at least one or two other people joining us live. We shall see. And if
Um,
not, then
sorry.
sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say I know one other person is coming. She was kind of running a little, it's my sister. She was running
Oh, yay.
a little bit behind. They're like just getting back to the where they are right now. So I know she's coming.
Oh, perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Well, as I said, I like having a small group anyways, but if it's just you two, even better. We can dive right into the stuff that we need to work on and get it done. Did you get my emails yesterday?
So the one about what to do, I got 20 minutes ago because it got redirected to my spam and I just happened to be
Hmm.
playing around in my email. I forwarded it to my sister because I was like, "Hey, did you get this?" And it ended up in her spam too. So I'm not really sure why
Oh,
that happened. Um,
ew.
Hold on. She's texting me. She said she's trying to log on to Zoom, but of course it wants to update right now.
Of course it does. Tell her not to panic. We're all good. If it's just the two of us and you, if it's the two of us and her, then we've got plenty of time for troubleshooting. So.
Yeah. So I don't think she was able to do the majority of things. But I did pull down some pictures. I set up my account. It took, I used Google to set up that FAL website that you sent to. I
Mhm.
haven't added any money yet. I don't know if we needed to do that before today, but I literally just got signed on. So
Okay. All right. Well, I walk you through it anyways. It's just you can imagine if there's eight people on here, which is like my cap, everybody doing it at once, it's like it could take forever. So I try to get people to kind of have it set up, but I'll have to check on why it went into spam. That's really bizarre because
I've been getting your other emails that are like, hey, here's the reminder, like this is coming up, but that particular
that
email
one,
got pushed to spam. And like I said, I was playing around in my email this morning, just kind of clearing things up. And I saw I had some spam, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. I'm going to go look and see what's in there. And there was your email that clearly was supposed to come through yesterday, but that's where it got rerouted to. And hers is a Gmail as well. So that's also where it got rerouted.
oh, so strange. Because yeah, that's I mean, it shouldn't do that, obviously. It should not work that way. And it comes from my technically, it comes from my um Gmail account that hosts my identity hacker account. So I always thought that if it came from Gmail, from that host perspective, it would protect it from going to spam. But good to know. I will have to get up, take a look at it because I'm not sure why that would happen. Oh, here we go. Katie is coming in. But yeah, I'll walk you guys through that too, just to make it easy, and then we'll kind of get into the information. Um, I'm just trying to, because so you were on at the summit, so you kind of saw part of what I did with my presentation.
Yeah. So, hey, Katie.
Hi, Katie. She's like, someone here. Joe panic. I think it's just the two of you guys, so we're gonna be pretty casual around here. So don't worry about too much worry in terms of timing or anything like that. So
Oh, it looks like
um
she got
oh,
unmuted, but she might have gotten a little frozen.
and then she froze. Oh, Zoom. We love to hate you, hate to love you. Oh, I'm just moving again. So sorry, Holly, you said you were at the
Oh,
summit.
yeah. So just some real quick background. I was a part of Integra HR. I got certified through the vision boarding. Through that, had one opportunity to do like a big vision board, what Jennifer and Hope, I don't know if you stayed on, but what they presented on towards the end, I was a part of that. But I actually just left Integra.
Ah, okay.
My last day with them was on the 19th. So I don't know that I'm going to continue to utilize the vision boarding certification. I have it and it's paid for through the next, I think through August. Um, but I am no longer with the company. So that's not something that I'm continuing to do right now.
Gotcha, gotcha. So for you, this is more of a personal, oh, you wanted to create your own personal vision board? Okay, good to know. Good to know. I don't know. Katie just lost. I don't know if Oh, yeah.
Oh,
And then she's gone. She'll be
maybe
back,
she'll
I'm
sign
sure.
back on. Yeah.
You
She'll probably tell you this herself, but she's actually in Ireland right now. So I don't know if
oh,
that's contributing to some of the issues, but
yeah, I guess it depends. I mean, I always find Zoom isn't a massive beast with like internet and stuff like that, but that's not to say that it can't be an issue. As I said, I've used Zoom for like almost 10 years now, and there are so many things that I would love to change about it. So
oh yeah.
like there's so many things. But I don't feel like there's a better platform. So that's kind of where I get stuck with it. I'm like,
I
this
hear you.
where is that? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. All right. Well, I don't really want to get too far ahead of the game until Katie gets back,
That's
but
okay.
so yeah, so we'll just kind of wait. But if you do want to, while we're waiting, take a look at your images. I'm going to go over all the details in a minute. You do need to add a minimum $5 onto your FAL account, so the FAL account, to
Okay.
train your twin. I did it with $10, and that's what I kind of recommend. Oh, she's back. Hi, Katie.
Hey, I think this area has better Wi-Fi connection. Sorry.
That's okay. No, perfect. I wanted to work, and if this is a better area, then that's perfect. That's perfect. I was saying to Holly, I think it's just the two of you and me. So that's good. We can kind of just get deep into the whys and all that stuff, which will be nice. So Holly was telling me a little bit about her, but for you, Katie, is this really like a personal thing? You want to make your own vision board for yourself? Because obviously Holly and I met through a vision board coaching certification. So I'm just trying to gauge where you are in this. Is this more about you? You want to do it? It would be really just nice to have your 2026 vision board up and running.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Perfect. And I also heard that you guys didn't get the email and it was in your spam. So that is definitely
Yeah.
something I will keep an eye on because that shouldn't have happened. But part of that will be kind of preparing and getting organized for the work that we're doing for this too, because yeah, we want to have it all sorted. So I'll go into more detail in this for a second, but basically 15 to 25 images of yourself. You definitely want to create your FAL account, which is the FAL.ai. And then, as I said to Holly, you need to put a minimum of $5 on. You don't have to put much, but it does cost $2.40 to train your AI twin, which is what we use to create these images with. So that's kind of the basic housekeeping part of it. And the only reason I try to get people to do it beforehand is when we have 8 people on here, it's really hard to get everybody to do it. And it takes my very first workshop I did actually back in November last year. I think that process alone took us like 45 minutes to get everybody like ready to go. So I try to get kind of everybody on, but with only 2 of you, I think it will be able to go a lot faster, which will be nice. Awesome. Okay. So first of all, I am not sick. I bruised my vocal cords a few days ago because I was on an adventure and I screamed a lot. And so this is what my voice will sound like. I'm hoping it won't get worse. But if you struggle to hear me or anything like that, just let me know. I will be talking quite a bit, so I'm not sure if it will get worse or not. So we shall see. Secondly, very casual around here. I mean, again, it's just the 2 of you anyways, but I say this all the time. If you have a question, stop me. Okay. If I'm going too fast, stop me. If you're confused and you have no idea what I'm looking at, stop me. Okay. The whole point of this is it's a working session so that by the end of it, you will have what you need. You may not have an absolute completed perfect vision board, but the goal is to have your AI twin trained, an idea of what you want to put on that vision board, and some images created in that sense. Okay. So if I'm going too fast, which I said at my presentation when I met Holly, I talk very fast. I am like a fire hose of information. I get extremely excited. You will get a recording of this. So if you do need to watch it back again at a slower speed, you can. And you will also get a lot of, and I'll figure out, maybe I'll just tell you to check your spam, because the email that comes after this is with the recording. You get the presentation, you get just a bunch of documents. It's a lot of information. So I really want to make sure you guys have it. But it's, as I said, more of an after thought. So it's just something that you'll have to just maybe double check your spam for. So again, I like to start off with what you wanted to do with the images and the creating of the vision board. So both of you are amazing. I am a true believer in creating a vision board multiple times a year, not just once. But obviously this time of year, it is a really big deal to create your 2026 to get ready and prepared for the year. I have about 7, I'm not going to lie. So I have plenty and I believe in them because let's be honest, what I was thinking about last December and what I'm thinking about this December are very different. So I'm a huge believer of checking things off, changing things up, replacing images, replacing goals once you've achieved them. Or I have a travel board and I have a business board and I have a personal board. So I am a big believer in that. Today, we are just going to focus on all of it. There are 3 categories that I see most often when it comes to vision boarding. Is career or business, health and body, and then personal, which could be relationships, finance, travel. Okay, so all of those are part of this. We're going to talk a little bit about everything. We're going to train your AI twin, and then we're going to work on how to create different scenarios within the AI twin so that you can create the most amazing vision board you've ever seen in your entire life. That's the goal today. And as I said, if there's any questions, ask them. If you need to stop me, stop. If you need to go pee, you can put yourself on mute and go pee and come back, right? They're very, very casual. If you have a coffee, drink it. If you have a water, whatever. I don't want you to be sitting here being like, oh my gosh, is this almost over? I want you to look at your watch and be like, holy shit, I can't believe 2 hours flew by. That's the goal. Okay. So to really just enjoy it, but this has to be for you guys. So I have taught this workshop over 14 times. I've changed it up almost every single time, mostly because it's very personalized to the people that come onto the actual session. I am going to present a little bit, and Holly, this will be a little bit of a repeat for you since you did get to see some of my presentation at the summit, but I don't want to miss some of these really, really important details before we get into the nitty gritty. Okay. Any questions before we get started? No, feeling pretty good. Okay. So I'm just going to share my screen here for a second, and I'm going to walk you through pretty quickly, actually, because I like to get into the actual meat and potatoes, as we like to say, of the training. But let me just make sure that we are coming in hot with this information. So move all my Zoom thingies, my Fathom thingies, get all those out of the way. All right. Can you see my screen right now?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So becoming the vision using AI images and visualization, this is how you create your vision board. Okay. So my name is Lindsay Hack. We are talking about intention setting for 2026 today. So as I said, business, health, and travel, those are the pillars. And I use them very broadly because everybody has a different idea of business. That could be career, that could be taking some courses to further your career. Okay. Health could be body, it could be fitness, it can be, doing things that you want. And then travel, of course, is under personal as well as relationships. We kind of do it. So looking at kind of the one major goal underneath each of these, and then we're going to look at tiny actions to achieve these goals. So unlike a vision board workshop you might have gone to in the past, where I get you to do all of this and then break it down, we're going to do some of this, and then we're going to get into what I think is a really important part, which is creating your AI twin and getting these images. So to start off today, I just want you to look at your 3 pillars, and you can just put them on a piece of paper, and it can be business, career, something to do with that. It can be health or body, and then it can be personal and travel. Okay. So I want you to imagine you have 3 pillars at the top of your paper. Okay. Then you're going to have one goal under each of them. And you might be like, one goal, I have 187 goals. Me too. I totally get it. But we're only going to be focusing on that one big goal today. So for example, under business, right? Or career. Obviously, Holly, I know you said that you just left your career recently. So there might be some pretty big goals under there. I don't know what that looks like. But, having that kind of one big goal. And it doesn't have to be the biggest goal, the most expensive goal, the number of sales goal, anything like that. It just has to be one that you want to focus on, right? So in my case, and just so we're very clear, if you don't hear it soon enough, you will. I swear a lot, and I hope that doesn't offend people because this is who I am. But my one big business goal is fuck yes energy. Okay. That means that I am only saying fuck yes to things that feel that. Okay. Everything else is a no. There's no in between. So that's my one big business goal. Okay. Health goal, for example, I'm turning 49 this year. So I want to be in the best shape of my life before I hit my 50th year. Okay. That's my health goal. And then travel goal. I am currently sitting in Lima, Peru with my 2 teenage daughters and my husband. We are on a 9-month South America adventure. So travel goals for this year are quite large. I have quite a few of them. We are going to Bolivia in January. We're going to Chile. We're going to Argentina, Costa Rica, Colombia. We have lots of big goals. So you can imagine my big goal under travel has to do with my travel adventure. Your travel adventure could be you're going to the next, city and I'm staying there for the weekend, right? It doesn't have to be, as I said, the big thing like of that. It just has to be the one thing you want to focus on. Okay, so once you have each of those in there, and again, you may not know exactly yet, and that's okay, but we want to look at the tiny actions to achieve the big goals, because that's really how we get things done. Right. So for my business with my Fuck Yes energy, one of the tiny actions I need to look at, I need to say no a lot. Right. That's a tiny action. I'm going to have to say no a lot. It's going to feel uncomfortable. People might not like it. Right. Another goal that I'm going to be doing is I have specific programs that I'm selling. Right. Another goal for my tiny actions for my business goal is to collaborate with some amazing women. So you can see those tiny actions are going to filter into that big goal. So whatever your big goal was under business, just create like 3 or 4 tiny actions, health or body, 3 or 4 tiny actions, and travel and personal, 3 or 4 tiny actions. Okay. For me, for my health, I have a race I want to do in Costa Rica when we're there in June. So that's one of the tiny actions that I have to take, is actually sign up for that race, right? We're talking tiny. We're not talking go out and run for the next 20 years. We're talking tiny, sign up for the race, right? I also have to register, figure out where it is in Costa Rica and plan our travel around it. So little tiny goals. So that's really, really important to kind of just get you into the thought and the process of what we're doing for intention setting. All right. Again, I don't want to spend too much time here, but I just want to make sure that if you guys have any questions about your intentions for 2026. We're feeling okay, feeling pretty good. Does everybody have enough time? Am I pushing you too quickly? It's the other thing I get a lot of is that I move fast. So I expect everybody to move fast. Are we pretty good?
Just real quick, the
Yeah.
travel piece, when you talked about it before, you were also like, oh, well, that could be relationships or that could be finance. So it doesn't necessarily have to be like, I want to travel
No. Yeah,
somewhere
exactly.
specific.
So for me, I use travel as a very high setting. It could just be personal. That could be your pillar. It could be personal. So it could be relationships with a family member. It could be a spouse. It could be kids, right? It could be, like you say, financial. Maybe I want to save some money to go traveling, but not this year. It's just not in the cards, right? So it doesn't have to be travel. It just happens to be what my pillar is. So you can put it under personal, and there could be some travel goals under that, or personal could be relationships, or personal could be financial. Whatever that one big goal feels good to you.
Okay.
Yeah, great question. All right, and while you're finishing that up, I want to ask you this because I think it's really important. When was the last time you actually saw a version of yourself who was visible, confident, leading, and actually believed that it was true? And that final sentence is more important. Actually believe that it was true. Okay, so not the version you talk about in your journal. I don't know about you, but that journaling of like that beautiful person, right? Not the person who looks after the to-do list, but the version of you who's actually living the future self that you say you're going to be. And this is really important because one of the things that we're going to work on today as creating your AI twin is seeing that person, seeing her, creating her, and bringing her to life. Okay, that's the major part of what we're doing. And again, so my name is Lindsay Hack. I've been doing vision board workshops and master classes for over 15 years. In November of 2024, I did my very first AI image vision board workshop. Okay. But in January of 2024, I started playing with AI images just for fun, just for me, because I thought it was cool. And I didn't actually put 2 pieces together until I hit that prep stage for my November 2024 vision board. I created all these cool images and I thought to myself, I wonder what would happen if I put this together. And it was a holy shit moment. Like, I'm not even kidding you. It was the most incredible thing. And that's why I've taught this for 13 times. That's why I will continue to talk about it, because I want people to understand that AI doesn't have to just be the cool Christmas images that everybody sees across social media. It actually can be so much more than that. So that is why I am here. Now, again, for me, the big thing was I could not visualize. Okay. And I shared this with Holly in this group. I've spent years, 25 years of my life, I've been a coach in the health, life, and fitness space. I have seen coaches and programs and spent time in workshops and containers. I even sat with the Dalai Lama in India, and I could not visualize. So whenever somebody says to me, well, what does yourself look like in 2 years? What does your business look like? What do you, I would just see blackness, nothing. So I did whatever normal human being does in that time. I would smile and nod and pretend, right? I would be in a situation where I just was like, okay. So for me, when I was able to see her, really see her, it completely changed my world. Okay. I was able to bridge the gap between not being able to visualize and being able to visualize. Now, you may or may not be in a similar situation as me, but most of us, the reason we turn to vision boards, meditation, that kind of stuff, is because we're trying to create this person, this future self. And now we're able to do that with the use of AI, and it's a pretty incredible thing. So again, I never turn around and say vision boards traditional vision boards are broken, but we're just not aligned, right? Especially with me, because I couldn't see myself. I wasn't able to work in a subconscious level, right? The language that we were using was a different one. So I was looking for proof and I didn't have it, right? So now as we create the AI twin, right? So this is a real person, this is her twin, this is the real person, this is her twin. You're able to create anything that the brain will now understand to be true. And I think this is really, really important. So obviously we're going to be training our twin. We're going to be focusing on the information that we have, and we're going to be creating. Okay. So old traditional vision boards, right? It's what you wanted. You go through magazines, you'd maybe go onto Pinterest and we'd look for things, but you would have to fit your vision into what you had available to you, right? Whether it was a magazine or a Canva or a Pinterest. Now we're actually speaking to who we're becoming. We're talking directly to the nervous system, and we're using AI images to really fuel that future self. And it's gone from dreaming and hoping and praying to actually seeing. And that's why it's so bloody powerful. So again, multiple different vision boards for me. I have done them all over the place, but you can create them to be anything you want. So really the sky is the limit. The only limitation we have is our imagination. I create vision boards for other people as well, because some people don't have the capacity or the time to learn this themselves. So I'm able to create whatever it is that they choose, right? So when it comes to vision boarding, it comes down to you. And I think it's very important to understand that what's on my vision board, it might be different than what's on yours, right? Unless you're doing a 9-month adventure on South America, you're probably not going to have the similar things that are on mine, and that's okay. Right? You'll never find a house, a car, that kind of thing on my vision board because I'm a travel girly. But that doesn't mean that one's right and one's wrong. So everybody's vision board is going to look different, and that's the beauty of it, right? I have different templates for you that you'll get on the email at the end of the session, and it will have different templates depending on what you like. This one for me, this is a client of mine, too busy. My brain is already like an overdrive. Some people like busy. So it really just depends on what it is. But understanding the neuroscience of vision boarding and why this is so powerful, and I'm going to go over this pretty quickly, and I can go into so much more detail on this. I could probably teach you like a 5-week course on this. So quickly to understand that the RES, which is the reticular activating system in your brain, is like the bouncer in your brain. Uh-oh, we lost Katie again. Hopefully she'll come back. Where did she go? I just hear like a ding. It pops out.
No,
like,
yeah, I don't know. It could
All
be
right, well, just give it a second.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
okay.
I'll just give it a second because I don't want to go to, I mean, there's some parts that you've already seen of this and there's parts that she hasn't.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure that she gets it, but also she will have the recording if she needs to as well.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. Do you want to share any of your pillars with me, or are you oh, wait, she's back. She changed direction again. A new location. We're hoping that this is going to be the winner. We'll see. We'll see.
I'm hardwired to the internet up here. I got the Ethernet cable, so we should be good.
So we should be good. Okay. All right. Well, as I said, the neuroscience is really important because the reason that these vision boards are so powerful is because our RES is like the bouncer in your brain. Okay. So imagine, and I always laugh at this because I can't remember the last time I went to a club, but you're standing in line and the bouncer's being like, you can come in, you can come in. No, you can't. No, you can't. That's what the RES does. Right. And there's 4 things that the RES is really, really focused on. One, your name. So if you're traveling and you hear your name in the airport, you like automatically look around. Okay, it's not because of anything other than that's important to you. Okay, sexual advances important for the human race. 3 is anything to kind of keep you safe, right? That intuition, that kind of things on your neck. And 4, and in this case, the most important, is what it thinks is important to you. Okay, so we can actually tell our brains what's important to us by imagery. Okay, so it strengthens our neural pathways. You'll see like Serena Williams, Tiger Woods, some of the major players in the athletic world, they are visualizing their game before they even have it, right? So it actually is telling our brain that it should happen, right? It also increases the motivation and focus. I'll tell you, this is something that's happened to me. I have an image of me. Here's a trail running image of me, but I also have my gym image. And it's an image I don't share with people too often, but it pops up every time I have to go to the gym. When I don't want to, I still look at it, and my future self is telling me to get my ass out of the chair and go to the gym, right? It's not telling me, it's not motivating me, it's not making me do it, but it keeps my goals front and center, okay? And then it reinforces positive beliefs. Things that we always think to ourselves, maybe we don't, maybe we can't. I don't know if anybody cares. I have a client who's been talking about writing a book for 20 years, but she always had the same belief. What would I have to say that other people want to listen to? Right. And it's a replace that we wanted to have an empowering belief. So I created her an image similar to this, where she's reading her own book that she's already published at a book signing. And now every time she goes to write for her book, I get her to pull up this image, and she's able to see that it's not just possible, but it's already happened. And I'm happy to report she's on chapter 9, I think, maybe even 10 now. And she's able to do it because she's replaced those limiting beliefs with the empowering ones. And it's super, super valuable for us to do it. Now, the truth is, I come from a health, fitness, and life background. You have to still do work. Okay, vision boards aren't magic. I wish they were. If I had an easy button, man, oh man, would I be a bazillionaire? But that's not the case. We still have to take consistent action, right? We still have to look at the board and create the images and do the things. And then on top of that, I still got to get my butt out and run. I still got to book my retreats. I still have to do those things. So it's really important to understand that. Now, I talked a little bit about this at the summit with Holly, but I think it's really important to understand that the ethics and morality of AI is not an AI conversation, in my opinion. It's a human being conversation, okay? If we are doing bad things with AI, it's a human being thing. It's not an AI thing, right? Think of AI like a tool, just like money is a tool, right? People use money for amazing things. People also use money for horrific things, right? But I have to ask you guys to ask yourself your ethical considerations, right? Being responsible, using your AI tools, the importance of intellectual property, avoiding misuse, all of those things. This is one of my gym photos that I was telling you about. This motivates the absolute crap out of me to get my butt out of this chair and go to the gym, which, by the way, after this workshop, I don't want to go, but I'm going to because of this damn image, right? I don't use this on my website asking people to buy my program because I don't believe that's ethical. Okay, I don't think that goes against my moral compass. Okay, the other thing I want you to really understand is if this image makes you feel shitty about yourself, that's not going to help either, right? Those people who have jeans from like high school sitting in their closet, hoping one day they'll fit back into it, but every time they see those jeans, they feel crappy, right? Not a good use of time. Same. Right? This happens to motivate me. It doesn't motivate some of my clients. It doesn't always have to motivate people. It makes them feel shitty. So we have to make sure that we are creating uplifting, empowering images rather than unattainable ideals. Okay. So just keep that in mind as we go through this. All right. So I'm going to pause out of here for a second, and I want you guys to come into your photos. Okay. So 15 to 25 photos of yourself is really important. Because if you imagine, we're taking data points from all of those images, all those photos to create your AI twin. There's a few things that I recommend. They don't have to be this, but I recommend them from just doing this over and over and over again. You want quite a few of your face. Okay, it feels uncomfortable when you're here taking a photo of your face, but I promise you that's what they want to see. Okay, Katie, if you don't always wear your glasses, or even if you always wear your glasses, I always wear mine. Take a few photos or have a few images that don't have your glasses on. So the AI can see the color of your eyes, what your shapes of your eyebrows are, that kind of stuff. right? If there are people in your photos, which a lot of people have photos with other people in them, right? I hate to say we still love your Aunt Sally, but crop her out, okay? Get her out of there because we don't want the AI to be confused, okay? A few, maybe one of you in a full body photo, okay? I can show you how to edit and work with creating your body type, but it's always nice to have some information. So if you have 20 photos, for example, 18 of them should be face selfie style, and then 2 of them can be other things. If you don't have a perfect match of that, that's okay too. Okay, I know this actually, in the year and a bit that I've been doing this, is probably one of the hardest steps for people, especially women, unfortunately, because we don't love ourselves a lot. We nitpick and we're like, oh, I hate that photo. I don't like that photo. I don't like that photo. It honestly doesn't matter to the AI. We can change all the things. We can add different color hair. We can do different color styles of your color of your haircut. You can do all of those things. We just need a really good idea of what your face looks like, your eyes, your nose, all of those things. So I'm going to give you guys a few seconds to just kind of make sure you have these collected. They can be put into a zip file, or they can just be on your computer, like just on your desktop or whatever. The only thing that I do say is if you have an iPhone, please double check that it's a JPEG or whatever the PNG, because iPhone sometimes saves it as like an HIEC or something like that, and it does not get recognized. So just double check that. The best way I've found to fix that is take a screenshot, and then it automatically saves it as a PNG or a JPEG. And if you're like, Lindsay, I only have 10 photos, we can do with 5 for 10. I have done as little as 4. It's not as good, but it can be done. So yeah, so just make sure that you have enough. I have done it also as many as 100. So there's a nice balance between them, but 15 to 25 has been the ones I've found to work the most efficiently.
So I have a question, Lindsay.
Yeah.
So when you're thinking about these vision boards, and I know that, you talked about having multiple or, doing multiple within a year, like what's typically the time frame that you say, like when you're putting this vision board together, these are things you'd like to accomplish in 6 months, a year? Because, right, like as I'm sitting here thinking about these things, what I don't want to do, because I have done this to myself in the past, is set myself up for failure, where I'm saying, right, I want to do all of these things in the next year. And while I can break that down into smaller goals, the reality is I'm probably not going to accomplish all of those things in the next 12 months. So I was just thinking about that as I was, kind of writing what I wanted to focus on.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. And unfortunately, the answer is very gray. There's no black or white. It really depends on you. Okay. So what I have found for me is I put 1 or 2 really big goals on my vision board. That's not necessarily doable in a 12-month period, but 12 months is kind of the goal of the vision boarding. But I also will put some baby steps on there as well. So if you imagine, a pendulum that kind of swings back and forth, sometimes when we have too big of a goal, the pendulum swings and we don't believe that it's ever going to come back. But we also need to see some of those baby steps too. So for example, last year I put on my vision board to go hot air ballooning. Okay. That was something that's been on my vision board for years and years and years and years. I managed to get that done in this year. So in 2025, I did it. So I got my check mark. The other thing I put on that board was I want to run a retreat for women who can climb, I say mountains, but basically do a big hike that proves to them that they can do anything. I have not done that for 2025, nor was it on my goals to do it for 2025, but I still want it to be front of mind because everything that I work towards, that's kind of the end game. So I'm a big believer in having 1 or 2 really big ones that probably won't be done in 12 months. So let's say you wanted to buy a house, but your goal right now is to save enough money for the down payment. Well, are you really going to get motivated by putting money on your board? No. But what you're going to get motivated by is the house that you really want, describing it, seeing the colors of it, whatever. So even though the house itself probably won't get done in 2026, that's the motivator. So that for me is how I work it. I do a little bit of big goals, I do a little bit of medium goals, and I do a little bit of small goals because I also believe in getting a quick win. So for example, if you know you're doing something next month, put one of those things on the board, because then you're going to get your quick win and you're going to get that check mark. I'm a big check marker. I love them, right? I put things on my list just so I can check mark them off, right? So I like having those quick wins as well. So that's how I do it. Now, as I said, going back to the picture of me at the gym, that works for me. But if that doesn't feel right for somebody else, then I don't recommend them doing that. I recommend doing smaller goals, right? And then I have somebody who does big goals only. They don't look at the small goals. They want to see the final, right? They want to see the volunteer in Africa, the house, the car, whatever it is. So even though they're not necessarily going to get it in 2026, or maybe not get it in 2026, but it's still on the board to motivate them.
Okay.
Because the other thing that we're going to do that you'll get in the email is kind of what now? What do I do with this board to help me move forward with these goals, right? Because it's one thing to have this beautiful big list, like you said, and this is probably what happened to you before, Holly, is you have this big beautiful list and then you have no idea how to achieve them. And so then when you look at it at the end of the year, you're like, well, I didn't get anything done, right? And then you feel crappy about yourself, like you failed, etc. So we also want to make sure that we keep it front of mind with some of these tiny actions. So for what I do is I take some of the tiny actions, some of the big goals, and then some of the really big goals. And that's what I put on my vision board for me personally.
Sure. Okay. That's helpful.
Does that feel like that would work for you?
Yeah, no, that's helpful. I think where I'm at right now, and I'm an overthinker, so this is definitely a part of what's playing into that, is just like I'm definitely at a point where there's a lot of opportunity for big changes and a lot of things that I want. And again, I just don't want to like put all this pressure on myself to have to do all of these things when I don't know that that's really possible. So I think what I'm trying to do is I'm writing these as almost like triage of like what is now, right? Like what is kind of maybe the most important to focus on, and these things, other things will come if I can get some of this other stuff done, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. Actually, so do you have an example of some, let's say, a bigger goal that you were thinking about when it kind of popped into your head?
So, I mean, there's a lot, right? So, I'm at a point right now where I don't have a job. I left my previous company and I did not have something else lined up. And part of that is because I don't actually know what it is that I want to do. So, right, some of this is like figuring out where I want to go in my career. And then kind of second to that, we're at a point, my husband and I, at our lives where we're starting to talk about starting a family and like all of the things that go around that. And that also comes with needing to buy a house. And so there's just kind of like a lot of these different pieces. And I'm like, if I say I'm going to find the fulfilling career and I'm going to get pregnant and I'm going to buy the house, right? Like all of that just seems so much pressure.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
my ADHD brain is going to shut down, right?
Yeah.
So like trying to be thoughtful about like, okay, so the career piece I think is really important to me and kind of was going to be the forefront of everything. And then I started to think about like the health and body piece as more of like, how do I get myself healthy before we have kids, right? Like getting myself into a place where like mentally, physically, spiritually, all that sort of stuff, like I'm ready to have kids because that's all stuff that I wanted to do. And then do I just say like, I'm not going to put the house on right now. And like, if that happens, it happens. And if not, that's something we'll do later. Cause I also want to focus on like myself and my husband. And that's what I was thinking of putting in that third bucket. So yeah, it's just hard for me to like visualize what it is I want to do. And I think I'm overthinking it is really what it comes down to.
Yeah, well, and definitely there's part of that, but just keep in mind that the vision board itself is the roadmap, but not all of the steps, right? So if you think about if back in the, I don't know, back before when it was like you print out the map and then it would have like 87 steps on how to get from there to there. That's kind of what we're talking about. So definitely don't overthink it. But I also know that based on your personality, as you've just said, right? It's kind of like if you have too many things on the vision board, it's going to just shut down. If you have too little things on there, you're just not going to believe it. So you're going to have to find that happy medium between the two of them. And I think for you, it's, it could be a theme theme of just like happiness, and then happiness comes in like different places and different ways. You know, so the bigger goals can be, like you said, maybe it's a family, and you know, you have yourself with a baby. I don't know, maybe it's, like I said, the house comes, but it's not today, it's not tomorrow, it's in there. You know, the health part of that is the roadmap in terms of like the action steps, but the baby is the end game, right? So you're going to have to kind of work on that. And I think, you know, part of that will just be playing with it a little bit. But yeah, just don't overdo in terms of like how big it needs to be, but also be in a place where it's like, the goal of this is to motivate you. Right? So if you're going to put on there, you know, you sleeping on the sofa because you have no job, right? Like, and that's, you know, that's part of, that's not going to help, right? That's really not going to help. So it's finding that happy medium between the two.
Thanks.
Okay. You're welcome. All right. How are we doing with photos? Do we feel like we're good if I explain? Okay, Katie, how about, I know Holly said that she signed up for the Fal.ai already. Did you get a chance to do that, or is that something we're going to do together?
I had signed up, and I'm currently adding my billing information to do like the credit thing.
Perfect. So that's next step. So Holly, I know you signed up, but did you get a chance to add money onto it yet?
I added money. I added the $10 in the beginning.
Perfect. Okay, so then we're going to just wait for Katie to add that on, because the next step is taking the photos and uploading them into Fal. And I'm going to show you how we do that. As I said, it's a step by step, and really just making sure that we get the right path to that so that it comes out the right way. So that's important. So I'm just going to share my screen so I can show you guys where you're going to be. So let's just.
Hey, Katie, how many of your photos came from your wedding?
Maybe none, actually.
Really? So many of mine came from my wedding.
It was going to take too much energy to crop John out of all of them. And I don't like have many alone. So I have like a million selfies when I went there. My full body picture, one of them came from trying on bridesmaids dresses for your wedding. So.
For my wedding. We both got married in the last year and a half.
Wow. That's fun. So yeah, you guys should have plenty of photos of yourselves, which is nice. Okay, Okay, so I am going to pop into the chat a link. It's just super easy for you guys to click instead of finding. So that's the next thing. So many pop-ups. So right now, you probably are on the home page, which looks like, hold on, a lot of craziness. You're probably like, oh my God, what the heck is going on here? Okay. It doesn't matter if it looks like this or not, but that's the home page. So what I want you to do is go into the chat on Zoom and just click the fal.ai/models/blah turbo flux trainer. Once you click that, baby, it's going to open up where we need to go. So I don't have to show all the things, because it actually is kind of confusing. One of the things I want you to think about, so Fal.ai is like Netflix, okay? It hosts all the different AI tools, okay? So if you ever hear people talk about different tools, it's probably in Fal.ai. The one we're using is called a Flux Trainer, okay? So that's just, again, a name of it. You don't even have to worry
Lindsay,
about it.
I don't know if you saw, Katie said she lost audio. She put in the chat.
But you can hear me okay?
I can still hear you, yeah. So I think she's got to pop back in. She probably signed out to pop back in.
She's got again. Okay, that's fine.
Tech is fun. Tech is fun.
Tech is definitely fun. We'll come back to it. We'll just wait for a second. Yeah, that's so weird, especially because she's plugged in. I'm surprised at that. But then again, I'm also not. So there you go. It's just one of those things where it's like, yep, tech. Well, while she's out, then I'll just say, so I would say for you, the biggest thing is ADHD brain kind of works in magical ways, but also can be very overpowering when it comes to certain things. But what I would suggest is just do a brain dump on all the things, and then you can literally circle the ones that pop out to you, right? So house, baby, whatever. She's back. She's back. Okay. You can hear me again. So we're going to go to the turbo, which is what I posted in the chat. And then this is what you should see. So once you guys get to this point and you both see what I'm seeing, give me a thumbs up or a hey, yes.
Could you post it again? Sorry.
Oh, yeah,
I had to leave and come back.
Chat goes away.
In. Chat goes away. Here you go. Boink. There you go.
That is definitely a downside of Zoom.
I know. It's so very annoying. Because it's not like you can save the chat, but you don't know you're going to get kicked out, or you don't know you're going to have to go away. So, all right. So this is what you should be seeing. Everybody see this with the TurboFlex trainer?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're good. Okay.
Yes.
So this is where you're going to. You should have no training history beside here. Don't worry about what you see of mine. But you're going to start over here on this side. This is called the playground. Okay. You are going to add your images here. You can do them individually, one at a time, or you can pick it you put it into a zip file and bring it up here. If you do it individually, it's just going to come in. You're going to pick your image. It's very simple. You're going to click your image. You're going to come in, and then it should show your image there. And you're going to add the next image. You're going to pick your image, and then it's going to show your image there, right? So you can do that for every single one of your photos. Or if you have it as a zip file, you can click the zip and it's all there. Okay, that's
some of these photos did not come out great.
Like, are they pixely or what do they look like?
Yeah, they're pixely.
And like, can you still see? Oh, she's gone again. Oh no. She's going to restart Zoom again. Do you want to share your screen with me, Holly, and I'll see if I think the quality is still okay.
Oh, I had to send you a request to do that.
There you go. Request granted.
So like that one is extremely pixely.
Okay, sorry, I just caught up a little bit. Show me again. Actually, they all look really good.
So this one's pixely.
Okay, can you click on that one? Can you make it a little bigger for me?
I'm trying to click on it. It won't do anything.
Yeah. Oh, you're already in file. Okay. So let me just see. Let me just see
that
what other
one came out pixely. This one looks like it kind of cut me off. This one doesn't show my face at all. My face was up here.
Okay, so that one definitely get rid of. The other ones I think are fine. You'll be okay with them because remember that's not taking the picture, it's taking the data points. So you don't have to worry about it being like, oh, that picture, like, would you put that picture on your Facebook? Probably not. But the picture itself in AI is going to take data points like your teeth, your nose, your hair, that kind of stuff. But the one that doesn't have your face, take that one out. But all the other ones are good. Okay. Just don't do anything yet until
I won't touch anything.
All right, Katie, we're back. Can you hear me okay?
So what she just put, or did you restart already, or is that what you're going to do next?
No, I did. So hopefully it'll stay connected now. It just keeps deciding to not let me hear your sound, but right now it's good.
Right now it's good. Okay, well, I mean, again, just go out, come back in again. I don't see the chat nearly as well when I'm sharing a screen. So Holly, if you see it and she has to leave and I don't hear her, like usually I hear her leave, just let me know. All right, so images as you go through here. That's the next stage, and then trigger phrase. So I want you to go in there first of all and just remove what's already in there. That's the default. So many people have pressed start without changing the trigger phrase, and it causes a lot of problems. So I'm always like, let's start very, very specific. So the trigger phrase, if you imagine, is like the lock. Okay, so you've logged in, you have a username and password, kind of like Facebook, right? If you uploaded an image onto Facebook, people can see it. The trigger phrase is your lock, which means you're the only one who can access this, right? The way that I use the trigger phrase and how I recommend is your first name, last name, no spaces, no capitals. Okay, if you want your lock to be even more, so let's just say your name was Jane Smith and the number of Jane Smiths in the world could be a lot. You can add some numbers to that. Okay, so you could have, so, you know, I happen to be Lindsay Hack 1212. That's my lock. Okay, it's not a lock as in like you can't access it because you don't have my account, but it just gives you an extra locking key. So you can see that these are some of the clients that I've worked with before, right? Becky 012345. Like none of them are super, super complicated. But if you had a very common name, I would add some numbers. If you wanted a little bit of extra protection, you can add some numbers. Just remember what it is. I'll show you how to not have to worry to remember what it is, but that's why I say make it super easy, right? So again, whatever your name is, first name, last name, no spaces, no capitals, and then a number if you want to add it. Okay. All right. How are we doing? Do we have pictures uploaded and do we have a trigger? Okay.
Yes.
Yes, I love this. Yay. Makes my life easier. Sometimes this is like the stopping point. I'm like, we need so much more. So don't worry about the steps. You can increase this, but of all the hundreds of thousands that I've done, 1,000 is perfect. And don't even worry about what that means. Learning rate, leave it as is. Training style, leave it as is. Additional settings, okay, I can just show you them, but don't even worry about them. They don't need to worry about any of that. And then all you're going to do is you're going to press start. Okay, if your images are in and your trigger word is on, you can press start. It's going to cost you $2.40 to train. Up here in this corner, it will say running or getting ready or in progress or something like that. Now we just need to wait until it's completed. Okay. Now, Katie, I'm hoping because you're plugged in, it won't take too long. I have seen it take up to 5 minutes. I've seen it do it as quickly as 30 seconds. It really is an internet speed thing. But does everybody see in the right-hand corner in progress?
Yeah.
Yeah. Katie, do you have yours in progress? Not yet?
I'm not sure. I don't think I see.
If you go up to where we like put in the pictures where it says training history on that side, mine has like a bunch of things and it said in progress in blue and now mine says completed.
Training history. I don't even see training history.
Okay. Do you want to share your screen with me? We might break the internet completely, but we'll just try it anyways. Okay, is that as big as it goes? So there you go. So training history and then in progress over here.
Great.
Oh,
it says
and now it's
complete.
complete. Okay, perfect.
Fantastic.
Okay. All right, I'm going to steal it back from you. Okay, so
Great.
now that it's completed, you're going to see some words down here, some information down here. Don't worry about any of that jazz. All you need to do is click Run Inference. Once you click Run Inference, you're going to get a new screen. It's just your Flux LoRa. Your trigger word should have come with you. This path has a lot of weird words in it. That's exactly what you want to do. This is where we do the magic. Okay, so we've trained the AI twin now. This is the playground to make some changes to it. Does everybody see that? Did everybody run the inference and get to where I'm going? Okay.
Yes.
So every prompt you have needs to have this trigger word in it, or AI gets confused and doesn't know where to grab the information. As long as you go into the Turbo Flux and run the inference, it will always bring it to this page. Okay, so you don't have to worry about, oh my gosh, where's the prompt? Oh my gosh, where's the path? Run the inference, bring it up. Okay, first things first is we're going to do what is called your base run. And all this means is you're going to do absolutely nothing to anything here, and you're just going to press run. You should start getting a little sign that says generate image. I'm not kidding you. I have seen the craziest things come up here. And then I've also seen like perfect images come up here. We don't know. This is AI. We have to remember it's still a machine, but you're going to press run. And all right. Oh my gosh. If you guys knew what she looks like, that's very interesting.
Jesus.
Yeah. So it could be absolutely ridiculously terrible. It could be great. I have seen a bowl of cherries here. I have seen a cartoon here. So it really, really, really does it. The only reason I get you to do it, okay, Katie's got hers now too. The only
It's
reason
real
I get
bad.
you to do it is so that we have what I call as your base go. Now this is terrible as well for my client. Oh my God, she looks so terrible. If she saw this photo, she'd probably die. So now this is where it gets a little bit more interesting. Okay, so how do you guys do with AI in general? Do you use ChatGPT? Are you Gemini? Do you use anything? Do you know much about it? Sort of and no. Okay.
Minimal,
So
very minimal.
Okay. So the one thing that you hear when it comes to AI is it's all about the prompt. Okay.
Yeah.
The prompt is the information. Okay. So I want you to imagine that you have an assistant and you turned around to the assistant and you said, send an email. If you didn't tell her what should be said in the email, who it should be sent to, how it should work, she's going to maybe go off and do it herself and figure it all out. Okay. But more likely she's going to ask you, okay, Holly, Katie, I don't know who I should send this to, what's going on, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. What AI does is it just goes and fills in the blanks itself. It doesn't realize that you don't want it to do certain things or what's going to happen. So the prompting is a list of instructions for AI in essence. Okay. So it's really important that we prompt the information. So I'm going to tell you how we do that. And it's going to be, well, I say simple. It's not super simple, but it's simple-ish. So the first thing you're going to do is you're always going to keep that trigger word in the prompt. Okay. So you keep the trigger word in the prompt. Helen, where'd you go? The second thing you're going to do is I call it priority prompting. Priority prompting is basically what is most important to you. And in AI images, the most important thing is your appearance. You want it to feel and look like you. So that means in a priority prompting, the very first line is going to be a descriptive line. Okay, so a descriptive line for me is always short, wavy, brown hair with bangs and glasses. That's my descriptive line. Okay, if you wear your hair up all the time, then your descriptive line is going to include a high ponytail, a soft bun, right? Your hair color is going to be in there. Like I said, with me, it's my glasses. With me, it's also my bangs. Okay, you can get as specific as you want, but I don't recommend going so specific as like, this is going to sound ridiculous because I don't know what I'm talking about, but like, you know, high cheekbones and olive shaped eyes and all of this, because AI doesn't understand that shit. Okay, it really doesn't. What it does understand is long brown hair, short bangs, whatever. So descriptive wise. I hardly ever tell it what color my eyes are because I have glasses on. And even here in real life, if I asked you what color my eyes were, you probably wouldn't know. Because for me, it's not that big of a deal. I have blue eyes though. So in some of my images, I do put blue eyes. Okay. My eyebrows, I'm not really that concerned about them. But Stephanie, who's my client, her eyebrows are very much part of her look. So I have to really encourage the eyebrow look. Okay. Her cheekbones also. She also wears red lipstick all the time. So that would be part of her descriptive. So all you're going to put here is long, see, and this is going to be for her, long black hair. Oops, don't worry about spelling. High cheekbones. And I'm going to put red lipstick just because I can. And then I'm going to run it again. Okay. Each time you run this, it costs like 0.0035 cents. So like, don't panic about like running too much because it's not going to, oh, hello, did not like something in there. So if you ever get this, it's basically saying I'm going against the terms and conditions. Sometimes it's like, if you say nude outfit, it thinks you're going to try to get a nude person. The only thing I can think about this is cheekbones. So I'm just going to take this right out and I'm just going to use that. And we're going to run it again. So if you are not sure how to describe yourself, ask, right? I'm sure Holly could help Katie. Katie could help Holly. I could help both of you. Okay, so just by putting long black hair and lipstick, I've changed it a little bit. Okay, so that's our starting point. So each of you guys kind of look at what you would like as your descriptive sentence, right? It can be, as I said, hair is a big one. Facial structure is a big one. Whatever feels right to you, write it in there and then run it again and see what happens.
God, that got worse.
Okay, so I was just gonna say it could get worse. I'm not gonna lie, it could absolutely get worse. It sometimes gets better and sometimes it doesn't. But I'm just trying to show you kind of step by step how it is. So what we did this time is we played with the prompt. We didn't touch any of the settings. Okay, now we're gonna keep the prompt where it is and we're gonna play with the settings a little bit. So this is gonna be really hard because a lot of people like black and white. There's a lot of gray in AI. Okay, so if you imagine the perfect chocolate chip cookie recipe, if you ask 10 chefs what the perfect chocolate chip cookie recipe is, they're all going to say something a little bit different. Some people swear by sour cream, some people love butter, others want to use margarine, some like molasses, right? The perfect chocolate chip cookie recipe is basically what we're going for you. It's not going to be what my perfect chocolate chip cookie recipe is. It's not going to be the same as Katie's. Holly's is going to be different, but we have to play with the settings, play with the prompting a little bit to see what we can find. All right. So the settings, I'm going to tell you what they mean on a high level. You don't really need to know too much, but I'm also going to tell you what the basics averages have looked like for me after doing hundreds of thousands of these. Okay. So if you look at your settings, I'm coming back in here, there's 4 areas that we play with. Okay. The first one is your scale. If you really want to know more, you can actually click this little button here and it tells you some information, but most of the time it's in language that doesn't make any sense. So your scale is basically the LoRa weight. So this line here is your LoRa, which is basically how we trained your AI twin, is merging with the base model, this line here. Okay. So on average, it will always default to 1. What I have seen work the best is 0.8 to 1.2. So that's where you can play a little bit within the scale. I always just go to 1.1 strictly because it's just a simple middle ground for me. Okay. Then you're going to come into this more section and come down to additional settings. Image size, I always leave to default. If you know you want a specific size, cool. But I'm like, I think it can figure it out itself. This is the second one you can play with, the number of inference steps. Again, if you click on it, it basically is like the number of steps it performs from your image to your prompt. It will automatically default to 28. I have found if you'd taken this with me a year ago, I would have said kept it at 28. Now I know better. I play with it between 28 and 40, which is a big difference, right? It's a big number. Again, just from a pure average perspective, I put in 35. Okay. I'm not going to go into the C just yet. I'll tell you that in a minute, but leave it at random for now. The other most important one here is your guidance scale. Okay. Again, if you look at it, it's a scale of how close you want the model to stick to your prompt. So again, remember going back to the secretary or the assistant, you give them a long list of things to do. They're going to follow step by step by step by step. The guidance scale is basically the same thing. The lower the number, the more it's going to adhere to the prompt. The higher the number, the more AI is going to say, ooh, I get to play a little bit. Okay. I have seen the most success between 7 and 8 on the guidance scale, but I have also seen success at 3.5, and I've also seen success up to 28. This is part of that chocolate chip cookie recipe. Okay. I like to stick with about a 7 to try it out first. So once you've played with that a little bit, you're going to run it one more time. Okay, so I didn't change the prompt at all. I only changed the settings because a rule of thumb is you change one or the other. You don't change both. Right. And we also do it in tiny steps. So if you're going to change the prompt, you change it in tiny steps. If you're going to change the settings, you change it in tiny steps. Because if you change all of it at once, you're only going to see so much. So this is basically her now after I changed some of the settings. Okay. When you see AI images that look very plasticky, okay, so I'm sure you've seen those in the past where they look very plasticky. It's because one of these settings is off for them. All right. That's where you have to play with the settings a little bit more. But here's the good news. Again, a year ago, we used to have to fight inside FAO for all the things. Now we generate inside FAO and we edit in other areas. Okay, so I'm going to show you both of those so you can see how it works. But once you get a good image that feels close-ish, and when I say close-ish, you're like, okay, if I gave that to a stranger, they might not know the difference. Now, Katie, Holly, you guys are sisters. So the chances of you knowing each other pretty well, just like my husband or my kids or whatever, they're going to pick out things that are going to not be you. But as I said to you before, if I asked either of you what color my eyes were, you probably wouldn't know. I worked with clients for 8 years, and if I didn't tell them my eyes were blue, they probably wouldn't know, right? There are many features about us as human beings that other people don't pick up on. But we as human beings will look at and be like, well, that's not my eye color. That's not my facial feature. That's not my structure. The other downside, as I said to you before, is women tend to be the worst for picking things up. Right? Ooh, is that really what my neck looks like? Oh my God, is that what my hair looks like? Is that really what happens? Right? So the whole idea of this is to create an image that feels close-ish to you from an AI twin perspective. We can edit, we can add, we can take away, we can change hair, we can do all those things with the editing tool. But with the generating, we want to have a good enough image that feels like ourselves. So Holly, your last one, you said, ooh, it was worse. What's this one saying?
A little better.
Okay.
I was focused on my hair, and it definitely got the hair to a much better place.
Okay.
Um, my eyes look really sunken, which I'm not loving. Um, and I'm not loving the way that the smile makes my cheeks look really fat.
Okay. So weight is one of the things, and that's skinny face, bigger face, chipmunk face, whatever. It's something that we're going to work on and in more of the editing side of things. Sunken eyes, I would say that when with your priority prompting, you could probably add something to say, I'm trying to think about sunken eyes. It's a little bit harder to describe. So if you imagine, if you had a fit face or a chipmunk face, right? One is the opposite of the other. And then we have to kind of find the in between. I'm not sure what the opposite of sunken eyes are. So I'm trying to think to myself what that could look like. But in your prompting, you could put make my eyes less sunken and see what happens. That right? It's a
Do I
bit of a
leave the
play.
prompt as it was, or do I?
Yes.
Okay.
So actually tell me what your prompt says right now.
As my key, and then it says short brown hair in a shoulder length bob cut.
Okay. So you have nothing about your eyes in there.
No.
Okay, so add something about your eyes in there. So leave everything else the same and then add something about your eyes.
So just like
Katie, how
with
about you?
less sunken eyes.
Yeah, and again, I'm not really sure what let me just see. I can see what the opposite of that is because it's hard to, what is the opposite of sunken eyes? Let's see what it says. Oh my gosh. Bulging eyes is what it's saying here. So the
I don't want
opposite
to
of sunken
do
eyes is
that.
bulging eyes. Okay, so let's say what's and I'm going to share with you guys a custom GPT I created that's going to help with this, but I don't want to overwhelm you yet. So we're going to get there. What is the in between of bulging eyes versus sunken eyes?
What you eating, Kate?
She's like, I'm having food. What do you mean?
An Irish junk food called hula hoops. We're like potato chips, but in like Funyun shape.
Nice. Like bugles, but not with the tip.
Exactly.
Nice.
Needed a snack.
Love it.
Okay, so let's see what it's saying here. So deep set is a terminology it's using. Natural eye shape is something you could use.
Can
Yeah,
can I share my screen and show you what I mean?
Yeah.
It's this. You see?
Okay, so I would say, so with a bobcat, so I would say bobcat. So I would say with natural looking eyes. And let's try this. I'm breaking my own rules here for a second, but with less puffiness, try that and see what comes up from it. Because again, I don't know if it's sunken eyes or if it's just your face has gotten more puffy, like with the cheeks that make it look that way.
Right.
Wow.
Really? That's horrible.
Wow. That is very, very bad. Okay, so let's leave the prompt the way it is. And I want you to go into the scale and you're going to go back to 1. Okay, and then I want you to take your inference steps down to 30.
This one?
Yep. And then I'm going to get you to take your guidance scale back down to like a 4. At this point, I'm just playing. Like I said, remember, it's playground for a reason. We have to play. I don't know what the right combination for your cookie recipe is. I have to play with it. Every person I do, if I'm doing it for them, if they're doing it themselves, you have to just play with it. Dun, dun, dun. And then Katie, I'm going to come to you because you're stuffing your face and you're being really quiet. So it's either really good, really bad, or you just don't know what to do. So we're coming back that way.
Yeah, I've had a good one or two, and then I've been like, I think I can make it a little bit better, and then it's gone totally off. And so now I'm trying to get it back.
Okay, I'm going to show you that. Just a minute. I'm going to show you how to do
This
that
one's thinking real hard.
Yeah, this one's thinking real hard. I don't know what you've done in terms of making it think. There we go. Okay, so
No.
this is the hardest thing, right? So for me, because I don't know you very well, I can't look at this and be like, oh my gosh. But I look at this and I'm like, okay, I see parts of you in there for sure. So tell me where do you want to look? What feels off? What doesn't feel right?
Katie, tell me if I'm wrong, but my face feels really long.
Long?
It's giving
this
giving Edie Falco.
long.
I see like your eyes are right, your nose and mouth are close to right, but yeah, it's just your face is a bit rounder in real life.
Okay, so I'm going to get you to come back down all the way to the bottom, to the no, keep going. Yeah, the CFG. I want you to take the number 4, and I want you to bring it up to 14 for me. We're going to go right up. So this is what I mean when I say play. We're literally just going to try one and work our way around.
That's it? The only thing I'm changing?
Yep, only thing you're changing.
Look at this. We get so much one-on-one time with you.
I know. It's good.
That's a lot closer.
Okay, so remember I said, even though I've seen success at 7 and 8, sometimes I have to go higher to get a better vision of it. So let's just keep now the all of that the same, and up on the prompt. So let me backtrack a sec. In the AI world right now, it's trying to show you your selfie back to you. So it's kind of like a little kid being like, hey, mom, look, I can show you what you need to see. Very often are we taking photos like this of our face just like this. So that's why it's coming in close. But what I want you to try to do is I want you to keep everything the same. And then at the puffiness, put a comma and have sitting at a desk. And I'm just going to see if we can manipulate anything as we go.
Can I do that?
Katie, no, Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Katie.
Oh, I was just gonna ask, should I put myself at a desk too, or should I wait?
I'm gonna get you to wait for 1 second because I'm gonna show you where you're gonna go.
It's the eyes again that are still bothering me. It's almost like I have like really deep underneath my eyes.
Okay, so again, the eyes, I feel like they definitely have sunken in a little bit. Does the face look less long though? That's a hard, like I said, this is hard for me because I don't know you that well. So you guys are probably better at it than this.
Katie, I don't know about you, but that doesn't look like me anymore.
Okay, so I'm gonna take this back. I'm gonna show you. Okay, so Katie, in your sake, so
do you want me to stop sharing?
Yeah, yes. Wait, can you see I think you can see my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So if this is where you're at right now, okay, if you come over here to requests, so Playground API examples requests, it's going to show you all the ones you've done. Okay, I have tons. So the one that you like, Katie, you're just going to click on it. And then you're going to come back into the Playground. And then you can work from there again. So you don't have to try to recreate it. You can work from that same image again. So Holly, in your case, where you're like, that one looks way different than I do, go to your request, go back to the one we did just before that. Okay. The other thing, and this is where I'm going to bring you into the seed. Okay. So right now, the seed says random. So Katie, if you found one that you kind of like, but you want to tweak a little bit, you have to add a seed to this. So I just always use my numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because now what happens when you press run again, it's going to keep this one instead of a random new image. Okay, so that's what happens, right? A random new image, because you've asked for a random new image. I hadn't shown you guys that. So you're going to go into your request. You're going to find the one that you kind of like, right? Same with you, Holly. You're going to find the one you kind of like. You're going to put your seed in there, and then you're going to go back to your settings. Okay, so for your settings, you can work with the guidance scale. I think for you, Holly, yours probably is better higher, right? Katie, whatever one you used, keep that. Play with the inference steps a little bit, right? Maybe you do a 32 and retry again. It shouldn't change too much. Now I say shouldn't because it's still a computer and it doesn't know all the things, right? Once you put the seed in, it should be able to pick up some of the information on here, right? So her bangs changed a little bit, right? Because I changed some of these things.
Holy goodness, that's bad.
All right, so let me just show you really quickly what we're going to do from here, okay? Hold on, stop the share. So the first thing to remember is, like I said, we're going to try to get a base-ish model. That's the goal, okay? From the base-ish model, we're going to work on the scene, okay? So we're going to stick in FAL for the moment, just to kind of work with it. Okay, and so now I've got my priority prompting in play. Okay, so Stephanie, long hair and red lipstick. Her next priority for me is sitting at a desk. And the next priority for me is sitting at, I'm going to do, sorry, table, whoops, at a cafe in Paris, right? So I have priority 1 is what she looks like. Priority 2 is the scene. Priority 3 is the location. Okay, so I'm just gonna play with it, right? That's the idea. So this is what I mean by we start thinking about your vision board, and then we play with the images a little bit, and then we start putting the vision into the vision board, right? So here she is now. Notice I didn't say anything about what she's wearing. I didn't say anything about what she's doing at the table. So it's going to fill in the blank. I'm not sure why. I guess it's probably here that makes it suggest Paris. I didn't say like in front of the Eiffel Tower. So now, as you're going through this, I just want you to keep playing within this, with the prompt. So you're going to just leave the settings as they are for now. You've got your seed in there for now.
Which should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right?
It can be anything. It could be 7, 7, 7, 7, 7. It just has to be a number to lock it into this image.
Got it.
With Eiffel Tower in the background. So I'm just trying to show you guys how changing things in a table with laptop, right? I'm just showing you how changing the prompt a little bit is going to change the scene up a little bit. Now, will you still get a what the fuck is that moment? Absolutely, 110%. Right? So now you can see I'm changing things as I go. And now she's in Eiffel Tower. She's got her computer. She's still got her face. I didn't say anything about her clothes. So if I wanted to change her clothes now, I could say, have her in a blue turtleneck. Right? I don't change anything else. And then I run it again. Right, so that's how we're going to really build on each of these. So as you're going through and trying to figure out what it is that you want to put on your vision board, right? So now she's still at the Eiffel Tower. She's got her hair, she's got her lipstick, she's wearing a blue turtleneck, and she's got her computer. If I wanted to get more specific, I could put here, Mac laptop. Don't change anything else, run this. And each little tweak is going to help create the scene. Oh, see, I didn't even do it. So this time it didn't do it. Normally it just puts a little symbol there. But so this is kind of how we have to go about playing in it. And I can tell you right now, it can get very frustrating when it doesn't do what you want it to do. But that's the beauty of how AI works. Right? You're going to focus on trying to change the settings. And when you have some settings that work, you're going to change some prompting. And then when you have a new idea, instead of Paris, you're going to change your prompt again, and you're going to do it a little bit differently. If you want to add something, you know, staying in front of a house or sitting in my car or whatever, you're going to change things very, very slowly and work it. So let's just say I'm going to come in here with her long black hair. Now I'm going to have her sitting in red Mustang in a parking lot. Okay, Not going to change anything else. And I'm just going to run. Remember, every time you run, you have it down in your requests. So you're never going to lose it. But I also recommend if you do like one, right? So here we go. I don't know if this is a Mustang, but they like it. They're going to take it. So I'm going to say sitting in a convertible red Mustang. I'm going to take it at the parking lot. And I'm going to try again. So it's really that tweak, try, play, try it again, try. Right? Now she's in a room in a parking lot, not even a parking lot. Very bizarre. So Katie, how are we doing? What's going on with yours? She's laughing.
I'm having lots of fun here. I think I found one that is close enough. Although it's interesting, like depending on the different scenes I put her in, sometimes all of a sudden the face looks a bit different. But
yes.
It's just they keep like really animating some big boobs into.
Oh, so yes. Okay, so I always say AI was designed by a man, and they're going to try to make you a Barbie. Okay, so they're going to either make you way too thin with massive boobs. Okay, they're going to try to add, the boob size, the cleavage shot. So there are easy ways to fix that. And in one of the documents that you're going to get, I have a whole list of like body shaping prompting. Okay, so it's I tried everything when I first started doing this, like double D's, like more than a handful, AI doesn't understand it. So we have to work from a different angle, right? What we think and what we say to describe things, AI doesn't necessarily understand it, right? So when I say not a slutty top, which is what I would say in real life, it does not understand that, right? So then instead I would say a high neck blouse. Right. So it's finding the words that help. But yes, big boobs are always going to be on there. Usually thin like a Barbie doll is going to be on there. Plasticky is always going to be on there. We have to kind of help it out in that sense. It doesn't know age. So like for me, I'm 49. I put in, be 49 this year. I put in that and I basically look like my grandma. Right. So I had to, for a long time, be like a 30-year-old. And obviously I'm not, but it doesn't understand age. It doesn't understand height. It doesn't understand weight, right? So if you're putting in 150 pounds, it potentially could make you look like a 300-pound person, or it could potentially make you look like a 115-pound person. You're like, wait, what? And it doesn't actually make any sense. There's no rhyme or reason. There's no pattern. It just doesn't understand. So that's why we find different ways to kind of help support the words without doing it. So play with that a little bit when it comes to clothing. That's a really good one to help with it, right? Covering up the boobs. You can ask for smaller breasts, and that sometimes works, but not always. But then, as I said, when we get to the editing side of it, then that helps as well.
I think I have a good one. I'm doing yoga.
Are you doing? Oh, nice. Okay, good.
Maybe I missed this part. I haven't been able to get anything that isn't my face and maybe like a little bit of like my shoulders. So
yes,
how do I get one?
That's part of the prompting. So if you think about your description as number one, the second thing would be like standing on a stand-up paddleboard, or driving in a car, or, as Katie just said, doing yoga at the beach, something like that, where you're actually going to pull what I call the lens back. You can use terms like bird's eye view, half idea. I started working with a photographer a few months ago, and she was able to share so many things with me because I'm not a photographer. I don't have photography eyes. I don't understand lenses. I don't understand angles. And so those are some of the things that we use in our prompting now that I never was able to use before because I just didn't know. So as I said, you could get a bird's eye view. You can get a 3/4 length view. You could have another really good one to do is talk about your shoes. So if you're like wearing black pumps, then it's like, oh, she needs to see the full body. right? If I'm practicing yoga on the beach in bare feet, then it pulls you back a little bit. But again, not always. So you saw when I said about the car, a convertible, it didn't show my convertible car, right? So sometimes we have to reprompt it, try again, change the terms, change the words. But the most important thing is to remember is that it's called a playground for a reason, right? I always say I'm playing with AI because sometimes it can get like, I'm going to throw my computer out the window because it's not doing what I want it to do. But other times it picks it up and it's fine. Now, AI has something called an AI drift. Okay, this is a real life thing. If you're playing with the AI and you're changing things up and it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse and not better ever, it's probably drifted. So the best thing to do, like Katie just did with Zoom, is shut it all down and come back again. Not on Zoom, you can stay on Zoom, but you would shut foul.ai completely down and then you would go back in again and rerun the inference, because that AI drift can be very, very frustrating as well. But thousands and thousands and thousands of times, I can tell you that I can still get a what the fuck moment. Like, I'm like, what in the hell is that? That's nothing what I said. And that's just because computers still can't do the same thing as human beings, which is work on the editing, work on the information, et cetera, et cetera. So Holly, in your case, if you want, shut it down and then bring it back up again, right? If you look in the chat, you can click on the Turbo Flux Trainer, and then you can go and run the inference and try again, because it really can be as simple as that. Now I say,
does it save everything that I just did?
Everything that you did will be under requests. Yes. And this
so
is
how
a
do
new
I
feature.
Sorry, go ahead. So if I go to show output, it'll give me everything that I had done before.
Yeah. So if you, let's say you just shut down here, and I'll show you. I know you're a little worried. It's okay. I'll show you.
I found one that I liked. It's just every time I tried to play with it to do anything else, it was straying too far from it.
Okay, that's fine. So we're going to use that one. So let's just say, so you're going to shut this down, right? You're going to shut the whole thing down. Anytime you go to requests after you get in here, every single one that you've ever done, and I mean literally ever done, I've done this for 12 months straight, and I have every single image I've ever done. The only time that it completely loses, and I've seen this maybe once or twice, is that if something goes wrong with the server of the foul.ai. It's happened to me once. So if you do find one that you kind of like, I usually recommend downloading it. So for example, let's just go here. I'm going to pick Tanisha. I'm going back into the playground. Okay. If I want to see her, I click on it, and then I'm going to click this little guy here, which is just that download, and it will go straight to your computer. Okay. Because what we're going to do now is I'm going to show you how to edit. So first thing is,
sorry, real quick.
Yeah, that's okay.
So I'm sorry. When I went back to it, it has me logged in and everything, but when I go to requests, it doesn't show me.
Oh, because you're not there. So let me just show you for a second. So I'm going to go back to the Turbo, because you're here, right? You're in the Turbo Trainer.
Yeah.
Okay. So you still have to go over here to your training history and run the inference.
I still have to run it.
Yeah, you have to run it every single time. So let's say you play with this with me for the next, 30 minutes. Then you go off and do your thing because, Katie's in Ireland. She's not going to do all the things. And then she wants to come back and play with it again. You still have to go to the turbocharger and then run the inference to get back to where you were. Then you're going to go to requests. Then you're going to have all your guys here. Okay. And then you're going to download one. So I'm going to just pick one to download. So let's just go with this one. I'm going to download this baby. So Katie, pick one that you are like, yeah, I kind of like that one. Maybe it's the yoga one, whatever one you like. And then Holly, you do the same. Pick one that's you kind of like. You're going to download it. Okay. So then you're going to go, and I'm going to put this in the chat again so you guys can see. Again, because you both said that you sort of use AI, I want to make sure that you understand what I'm talking about here. If you've ever heard anybody talk about Nano Banana, this is the editing software, and it is free to use. If you have a free account, just like with ChatGPT, you get a certain number of plays before it asks you to wait. It will be like, wait 45 minutes, wait 55 minutes before you can play again. I happen to have the paid version, so I don't have to wait. But this is the free version, so I'm going to show you on the free version so that you understand where you need to go. Okay. Let me come back here, come back here. Oh, my connection failed. That's fun. Did anyone else have a failure? But it didn't fail. It's right here. Crazy loons. Okay. So AI Arena, you're going to come up here first to this top left-hand corner, and you're going to go to direct chat. You're going to come down here to this generate image. And as soon as you click that button, this should automatically change to Gemini 3 Pro. Okay, you're going to take your image that you just downloaded, which is this beautiful one here. And I'm going to, again, it's all in the prompting. I want to make sure, I want to make this laptop a Mac laptop, Mac Airbook. Let's just get specific. Okay. So what I'm doing here, yes, I agree, thank you. What am I doing? Failed to accept the terms, did I really? Hold on, this is new. So we're gonna accept and agree. Why am I going to fail to accept the terms? This doesn't make any sense to me, hold on. Okay, so as you go, well, let me see if I can get this. Terms of use, yes, thank you, I agree. All right, hold on. This could just be a glitch, so we're going to come back to it. So what I'm talking about, right? AI can still cause problems, just like Zoom can cause problems. Chat, image. Okay, so pick the image that you want. We're going to add, make this image, this laptop, a MacBook Air. Let's see if it works this time. Who knows? There we go. Okay. All right. So the one thing to keep in mind with this is that it doesn't have a memory. Okay. So if you've ever used ChatGPT before, have you guys both used ChatGPT at least once? Okay. You know, when you talk to ChatGPT and then you want to add something to it, you're like, change that sentence to add my life story or something like that. It automatically replaces it because it has memory. Okay. LM Arena, because it's the free version, does not have memory, which means if you wanted to change something, you have to give it the picture again, and you have to give it the new prompt. Okay. Does that make sense when I say it doesn't have memory? Yeah. Okay. I just want to make sure, because as I said, a lot of people use AI a lot and then other people don't. Okay. So here you go. So I just did the image, I did the prompt, and now you can see they've made the laptop a MacBook Air. Okay. LM Arena or Nana Banana is an editing tool, which means if you want to make some changes, you would use this tool. You don't have to use the file.ai. So I'm going to try this again, and I'm going to say, have the woman standing in a kitchen with her laptop. So the one thing that Nana Banana is really good at is keeping the similarities again, right? So Katie, you know how you said, I change one thing and the whole thing changes? Nana Banana is very good at keeping the consistency of the character, which is basically the image. So all I've had to do now is change the scene. So I've got her as an image, and I can change the scene from her sitting in a cafe in Paris to now I'm going to have her standing in a kitchen with her laptop. Okay. So in Katie, in your case, if you really like the image of you doing yoga, go to Nana Banana, upload the image of you doing yoga, and have her, right? Say, have the woman doing something else that you might want to put on your vision board. So have the woman skiing down a slope. Have the woman, right? So there you go. So the same woman, right? Same sweater. Now she's in a kitchen. Now, remember what I said, though, it doesn't have memory. So if I want to use this image, I'm going to have to download it. So everything I said about FAL is not true here. Okay. It does have it has the information here, but I use what's called layering when it comes to this. So now I'm going to download this image. All right, I'm going to see if it does it quickly. Let's say I didn't love this image though. See this little guy right here? It does a retry. So you can actually retry the image using the same image, using the same prompt. So if you got it and you're like, ooh, what's going on with my hair there? You can retry the image without giving it a brand new prompt. So that's the nice thing about the editing tool versus FAL. You can't just retry it in FAL. You have to almost redo it again. And even with the seed, it doesn't always come back to the same thing.
So I don't know what's wrong with this, but it is doing the same thing yours was doing, that no matter what I do, no matter how many times I click on things, X out, go back in, it is not letting me accept, which means I can't move forward.
Well,
Same.
then that's an interesting thing. I've never seen that one before. So let me do a quick search on it. But yeah, so anyway, so let me just show you. So I did the retry. I didn't change anything. And now you see she's still in the kitchen, but a different
I'm sorry, where was the
kitchen.
retry button? I was focused on what I was
Right.
doing. I apologize.
Right down here. That's okay. Right down here. Okay, so download, retry. Okay, I'm going to come back to you guys in just a second, but let me just show you this. So I call it layering because now this is the image that I got before I did the retry. Okay, and now I can then make another change to this. Okay, so let's just say make the kitchen wood coloring. Right, so I'm layering the changes. It doesn't do well with multiple changes. So if I wanted to change her outfit, I would have to do it in one layer. If I wanted to change the kitchen, I'd have to do it another layer. And if I wanted to change the cupboards, I'd have to do it in a third layer. Okay, so that's really, really important to remember. Now, let me ask you this while we're waiting here. Do either of you use Google Pro?
Yes.
Okay, then let's just forget this one altogether. Google Pro is Gemini, i.e.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said Chrome.
Oh, no, Pro.
Then no.
Okay, but you both have a Gmail, right? Let's see this. Anyway, so there you just see, right? So now instead of having the white kitchen, we've changed it to the wood kitchen. So it's just those type of things. So let me just try this for a second. Gemini. Okay, I'm going to copy this. I'm going to put it in chat and tell me what happens when you click that. Does it look like this?
Kind of.
Kind of.
I mean, mine doesn't say it's time to start counting down to 2026. The Hello Holly is like larger.
Does it have like a create image button?
Yes.
Okay, so that's all that matters. So click the create image button and it should change here to say image. Okay. Then you're going to come back into that file. Oh no, we lost Katie again. Okay. So come back into that same file, upload the image that you like. And then you're going to put your description in here again. So I'm going to say have the woman standing at, go back in, kitchen counter with her Mac AirBook. And she's back. All right, so all I did, Katie, was as long as that image says here, you're going to upload the image of you and your yoga, for example, and then you're just going to change the prompt again. So everything I just showed you in LM Arena is exactly the same here. And it doesn't look like I have to press anything or do anything. So hopefully you guys have the same success. So again, it's Nana Banana is going to bring me right back to where it was. So now she's in the kitchen with her MacBook, standing at the counter.
Interesting. Now it says it's loading that.
Mm-hmm.
Then it changes my face.
It changed your face in that one too? Okay, let me think about this for a second.
Like not
Right.
horribly, but
Let me.
I don't know. Maybe I'm being too critical, which is entirely possible.
Can you share your screen and show me?
Mhm. So this is the one that I ultimately found that I like.
Okay. Oh, yes, that one looks really good.
And then this kind of changed my face a little bit and also took away some of the flippy in my hair, but that's not the end of the world.
I
Okay.
don't think it's so
So
bad.
What?
what did you say, Katie?
I don't think that one's so bad. I think it kept it
The bottom
more
one?
consistent. Yeah.
This one?
Both of them I think look good. Like I think it kept it more consistent than I expected between the two.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. And so, again, Holly, I feel like we are going to be critical of ourselves for sure, but we also want to feel that emotional connection to it, right? So, my question to you is if you had this on your vision board with like Yoga Daily or something like that, would it feel connected to you? That's the biggest question that you're asking yourself, right? Um, you know, I teach people how to create images for social media and like different things like that. That there's a whole other level for that, but this is really about that emotional connection to your big dreams. That's
Mhm.
the goal, right? And again, like I said to you before, nobody knows what color my eyes are. Nobody looks at that and says, oh, look at that one cheek is just not quite right, right? We
Right.
don't do that. So you will, because you're going to be that person with yourself, of course. But the goal for the vision board itself is to feel like you are standing in your, or kneeling in a living room or wherever this is, right? And if it doesn't feel right, the setting doesn't feel right, that's when you can edit it out. So maybe you go to a hot yoga class and the hot yoga class has mirrors on the walls. You would download this image, you'd upload it back in here, and you'd say, put the woman in a yoga class in a studio with mirrors. Right.
Okay.
And all of a sudden it's going to change the look of it. Now you can add at your prompt, do not change the woman's face, right? Do not change the woman's outfit color or body type. Like you can add extra prompts like that in, that does help sometimes, but like I said, not always. So it
So if
really is that very gray area section.
so if I
So yeah,
wanted this, sorry, go ahead.
no, you go ahead. I think you're going to do exactly what I was going to say.
So does the don't change the face, does that go first or does that go second?
So in Gemini, which is what this is, it's not as urgent with the priority prompting in here. As long as you put it in, it's fine. So you could put your prompt and then at the end put do not change the face or body features, or you could put it at the front. Priority prompting is really important in FAL, but not so important in Gemini. Yeah, exactly. And then let's say you wanted the yoga studio to have some other people in it, right? Then you could say in a yoga studio with others. You could say in a yoga studio with a yoga instructor on, or maybe you wanted to be the yoga instructor, right? As a yoga instructor standing on a stage, right? There are all the different ways to edit in Gemini that make it so much easier. Right. So now it's you didn't give it any direction on being in the yoga studio. So it's basically taking the exact same image and taking you in. But you can see it's kind of like a yoga studio. If you wanted to be doing yoga in the yoga studio, if you wanted to be doing the pigeon pose or cross-legged or whatever, you would need to put a little bit more detail in the prompt so it pulls it back so that you're sitting there doing a yoga pose or writing a journal on the beach or whatever it is. So you're able to give it multiple directions in Gemini without worrying about the priority prompting at all. But so let's say you're like, I like this yoga studio. I'm good with the image. You would download that image and then you would bring it back up again. And you would say, have the woman sitting on the yoga mat, for example, right? You just wouldn't say, have her sitting on the yoga mat, change her color of her outfit to pink, and make sure there's sweat dripping down her butt. Like you're not going to put all of those in there because it's too much. You need to do more of a layer to this.
So I'm sorry. Try me again.
Okay, so if you want to have her sitting on a yoga mat, you would just say, have the woman sitting on a yoga mat, and then do not change the woman's face. Yeah, you just don't want to put too many things at it because it's still a computer and it can get confused. It's just like telling the assistant everything without her writing anything down, right? She'll get confused. She won't follow the instructions. But there you go. So now you're sitting down on the yoga mat. There's nobody in the yoga studio, right? So you could still play with this a little bit, but that's the idea, is that you're going to play, try, figure it out. And then you're going to have one that just like blows your socks off. You're like, holy shit, this is amazing. I did one at the top of Machu Picchu. And instantly, first go, it was perfect. I was like, whoa, that doesn't happen very often, right? But then there's other ones where you're going to have to play a lot more, work a lot more, play a lot more, work a lot more. But ultimately, once you have the image, now here's the other thing, and this can get a little bit more complicated, is you could add another image of yourself into Gemini. So you could add multiple images. You can add actually up to 8 images, but I don't find it to be nearly as effective as what you guys just did, which is training your AI twin, right? So you train your AI twin, that looks like you. Now you take it into the editing tool and you play with it. If you wanted to add the yoga picture, Katie, that you have, plus one of the images from your wedding, and tell it to create a woman who is, getting onto a private jet, it's going to take the image, and it's going to create you into the private jet. So that's really how you want to play with it. If you wanted to change your hair, right? I often say have my hair down. Sometimes I'll have my hair up because I never work out with my hair down, right? You have to tell the prompting to change, to make the changes. And if you don't, then it's going to just fill in the blank. Katie, how are you feeling? Very quiet over there. Are you just playing with it?
I am. Yeah. I'm doing great. Yeah, it's fun.
Okay, good. So we have about just under 15 minutes left, and I don't know if you want to actually, again, the creating of the vision board, in my opinion, is one of the easiest parts. So I can go over that with you for sure. But really getting this part down pat is the important thing. So if you imagine from the beginning, I lost Katie again. If you look at, having the information from the dream board, then you look at your person that you've created. And then let's say your dream, one of the things on your dream board, Holly, you talked about was a house. And maybe you have a pretty clear idea of what the house is, or maybe you don't really care what the house is. You just know that you want a house. So let's just go with the traditional white picket fence, wraparound porch. Okay. So then you would upload the picture of you, whether it's the yoga image or whatever, and you have her standing by a sold sign in front of a Victorian house with a wraparound porch. And that's what your image is, that you can then play with a little bit, tweak a little bit, put it onto your vision board. Does that make sense?
That's through the Gemini.
Yeah. So you've got your image through File. So you've trained your AI twin through Gemini. You make all of the editing changes to the dreams, the goals, right? Like I said, I have one of me on a beach in Spain. I have one of me obviously at Machu Picchu. I have all these different ones that I've created, and then they get brought into the vision board. Now I like to have words that kind of explain, like time to myself. Some people like quotes, that kind of stuff. That all can happen. And as part of your email that you're going to get after this is I have a template of templates, basically, of in Canva with multiple different vision board templates. So all you would do is you go into Canva, you'd open up the template, and you would bring in all the images that you wanted to upload. Whether it's 5, 2, 10, 30, you get to decide. Some of the templates have plenty. Oh, we lost her again. And some of them have many more, but you get to decide what that looks like.
Okay.
So let me see if I can get Katie to come back again, but let me just see. All right, I'm going to bring this back up, and then we're just going to see if Katie's going to come back in one more time so that we can finish this off. Okay. I don't know where she's gone. Oh, there she is. It's like, I was just waiting for her. Come back, come back. Okay. And she's back. Okay. So let me just go over this last little bit here. And if you guys have any questions, we can finish answering them. Okay, so one of the things that I do a lot of with my clients when I'm working with them one-on-one is I do something called an anchor. Okay, so an anchor is something that feels like you. All right, this image here is of my daughter. Okay, she's almost 18. She has this little necklace that has an M on it. Her name is Maddie. So in every image I create of her, I have this little necklace. Okay, it's that connection, that feel of connection to it. So Katie, in your yoga class, for example, that of the image that you had, maybe there's a pair of earrings you always wear. Maybe there's a lovely yoga pants you wear. Excuse me. It could be a notebook that you love, a pen, a mug, whatever. Connect that into your images. Okay, because once you connect your real life anchor into your AI images, it feels so much more real, and that emotional connection is bigger. So again, in her case, it's a necklace, right? That's a really easy one. In some people's cases, it's, like I said, a pen, a journal, a notebook, your dogs, whatever it is, something that really connects you to it. Really important to add that personal anchor. It doesn't have to be the same every single time, but it's got to be something that makes sense. So for example, this is the other thing in my daughter's room, not anymore because we've obviously left, but she had a British flag. My husband's from England. So she had a British flag in her room. So a lot of her images that don't need to have a scene, I have her M and I have her British flag. So finding something that really connects to that anchor is really, really important and helps with that emotional connection. So again, what do you do then, right? So what I often say when it comes to this is that we see it, feel it, build it, right? So using the AI to really generate those clear, emotional, connected vision featured images, right? Then I'm a big believer on journaling with it, breathing with it, connecting with it. I use mine like a mini manifestation moment. So for example, all of my images are on my screensaver on my computer, my laptop. So if an image comes up, I take a moment, I sit, I look at it, probably give it a little smile because it's a beautiful image. And then I have a little conversation with myself about what that image means, right? Connecting that vision to you, your future self, who you are becoming, right? And then I'm a big believer in build it, reverse engineer anything. If it's offers, if it's, obviously Holly, in your case, you're like thinking, house, potentially baby, and then job, right? So you have all of these things. How do you work backwards from that, right? And structure that to make it match. Once you're able to really connect with your images, and then you really kind of anchor those into your journaling, your breath work and stuff like that. Remember, I told you it's not a magic wand. You still have to do the work. Okay. So here's some real life examples that I've, as I said, hundreds of people at this point, but Nellie really wanted me to create an image of her in Paris. And I created this for her as part of her vision board. And the very next day she booked her retreat, which is happening in 2026. Louise really wanted to volunteer with her family in Africa. I created this image for her and she was able to look at, again, tiny steps on where she wants to go. Lisa was reaching out to speaking gigs. She ended up being an international speaker in 2 places last year. Michelle applied for her safety job. She had never seen herself in this cute little outfit. So of course I had to create the outfit for her. This is actually my husband. He signed up for his 100K trail race, which he's been talking about doing forever. And then Steph actually booked her Tour de France biking trip after I created her an image like this. So this is what I mean by connecting to your images, right? These are images that go onto your vision board, that connect you, that feel like it's just part of who you are and what you want to become. And once you connect that and you see that and you work with that, then you're able to really focus on doing the things to become her, right? And then once you see her, right, you can't unsee her. And for me, who couldn't visualize in the first place, when I had me on a vision board, it was usually like a pair of running shoes and maybe a name of the trail race that I was doing, right? That was how I connected myself to her. Now I'm literally crossing the finish line. I have a medal around my neck, and I have, where we used to live in Mexico was like ocean and jungle. So it was like where the connections met. So I was standing at the finish line, ocean on one side, jungle on the other side. That connection for me was like, okay, now go book your race. Okay, now go for your training. Okay, now do those things. So that's how we use these from a vision board perspective. So you can, again, the sky is the limit. You want to bungee jump off of the Eiffel Tower, you can create that if you want, right? You get to decide whatever it looks like. So Holly, if you wanted to do something about a family, right? You could have you holding a baby. You could have you pushing a stroller. You could have you in the white picket fence with the baby pushing the stroller, right? You can create layers of these dreams however you want to do them. And the beauty of that, oh, Katie's coming up. And the beauty of that is that it becomes your reality, and your brain starts thinking that not only is it possible, but it's already done. And that's the power of it. So, oh, she's back. She's back. Oh, slowly coming back. And she's back. Okay. So to wrap it up, does anybody have any questions? As I said, in the follow-up email, you're going to get a ton of information. Okay. Don't worry. It's me just trying to give you as much information to be successful as moving forward as you can be. If you have any questions, of course, you can ask. One of the things in the email is I actually have a school community called the AI Identity Lab, where everybody who does the workshop comes into, and you can practice and learn and ask for feedback and, you know, all of those things. So I'll send you guys the link as well. So my best piece of advice is to do it, right? I have run this workshop for over 300 people now in the last year. And I would say, if I was being generous, maybe 35% of those people actually finish their vision board. And that's because life happens, right? You come off here in 3 minutes, you often doing Ireland stuff, you're doing whatever it is. It's like life happens. I totally get it. But if you want to see the change in your life that we talked about in here, finish the vision board. And Holly, it doesn't have to be perfect, but finish it so that you can see those things. And remember, you can tweak along the way. And then the other thing in the AI Vision, the AI Identity Lab in the school community is that you can upgrade if you want to become a premium member. And I teach you a totally more editing, lots of different things, etc. But the goal is to get something on your vision board so that you can then use that as your fuel to move into 2026. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Thank you.
Any questions? Any final thoughts? Anything? I would love to see what you guys create. It's one of my favorite things. Also, AI bloopers, okay, which means basically if you have 6 heads, or you get put into a room with you 6 times, or you have too many legs, just laugh your ass off at them and please share them with me because I love them so much. They make me happy.
Awesome.
And they will happen. So just remember that. It's called a playground because you play. Try not to worry if it's not working out. Shut it down. The AI drift is a real thing. Go back into Gemini. Try again. Prompt play. Do it in stages and keep practicing. I mean, again, I'm 1,000 times better than I was, but there are still, as I said, what the fuck moments every single day I use AI, right? I honestly, when I'm working with people in like a social media aspect kind of way, I could make up to 30 images to get one good one, right? I can make up to 60 images to get a good one. So it's not to say that it's going to be perfect right out of the gates, but the more you practice and play with it, but also remember, you're going to be your hardest critic, right? Unless you have teenagers, which I do, they're my hardest critics. But everybody else is going to look at it and be like, oh my God, that looks so good. Where you might be like, I don't love that, or I don't love that. Most people will look at it and be like, wow, that's such a cool image. Or if it's your vision board, we know it's supposed to be a vision board image, right? For the longest time, I couldn't get any of my tattoos to work on any of my images. So anytime I posted an image, it was just me with it, like sawn tattoos, right? And everybody's like, what the heck? I know that's an AI image. I'm not trying to hide that, right? Again, going back to my integrity, my morals, I'm not trying to hide I'm doing AI, but I really like my tattoos. So I want them to be a part of it. So it's like finding ways to kind of work with that, but just know that people don't look at you the same way as you look at you. So keep practicing, keep playing. And then if you don't, after you check your spam, get the email within about it's usually about a 2-hour delay. So Holly, sorry, not Holly, Kay, you might be already sleeping by then. I don't know what time it is over there, but if you don't get the email or after you check your spam, it's nowhere to be found, send me a message because it should work. But you know what we say about Zoom all the time, it should. Just because it should doesn't mean it does. So it should all be in there, and then you can get the recording and have all the information and we can go from there. Awesome.
Thank
All right. Well,
you.
enjoy your day, ladies. And then, like I said, let me know if you have any questions. I'm here to help. And hopefully I'll see you inside the AI Identity Lab and you can share some of your bloopers with me and share some of your dreams.
Thank you.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
Awesome. All right, guys.
Bye.
We'll have a fantastic one. I'll see you later. Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you.